Hey, this is Matthew Ricks, and today on the Music Business Newsletter, we got an email from an indie rock artist who wants to know how many social media accounts should he be running and have. But before we dive into this email, I ask you to go ahead and click subscribe to this channel. Leave me a comment if you agree or disagree. Make sure to share it with your friends who are in the music industry. And if you have a question on the music industry that you'd like for me to answer, just go to MatthewRicks.com, click submit your question, give me as many details as possible, and we'll answer it here on the channel. So let's dive into this email. He says, "Hey, Matthew, my name is Bob. I got a question that I've been wrestling with for over a year now. Carrying the water for a year. Well, you came to the right place. Let's see if we can help you." He says, "I'm hoping you can help me sort it out. I will try my best." He says, "I am 25 years old. I make indie pop alternative music, and I've been releasing songs since 2020. So you started around 19 to 20 years old. Good for you." He says, "Nothing crazy has happened, but I've built up a small foundation." Small foundation. I've never heard an artist reference their crowd size fans by saying small foundation. You must not be from the States with that. It's too proper. He says, "I have around 3,500 monthly listeners." He says, "A couple of songs in the 10 to 15,000 range for streaming, and a few hundred people who consistently comment or DM me. It's small, but it feels real." So you have 3,500 monthly listeners, and you have a couple of songs getting 10 to 15,000 streams. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon. Okay. Those numbers don't really add up. Unless you're releasing a new song like every 6 weeks. Those numbers really don't add up. I mean, I don't know how many songs you have either. You don't say. He says, "It's small, but it feels real." Well, every great fan base started small. He says, "The problem is I feel like every week someone tells me I need to be on another platform if I want to grow." Yeah, that happens. He says, between TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, long form YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, Threads, Blue Sky, X, True Social, Spotify clips, it feels like every time I catch up, there's another one popping up and I'm already behind again. Yeah, that's a lot. So I think as an artist, you need to be on TikTok. I think as an artist, you need to be doing Instagram. As an artist, I think you should be doing YouTube. Shorts, long form, I don't really know unless you're making music videos or you're doing behind the scenes stuff on your videos. I don't really know what long form you'd be doing on YouTube. Pinterest, that's an interesting one. Now, I don't know a lot of artists that are on Pinterest, but I kind of dig it, to be honest with you. Like if you're getting traction on Pinterest, that could be like a new avenue there. Facebook, I'm not a big Facebook guy. Like I don't think Facebook is efficient for artists. I think that had Facebook tried to been like MySpace and make it like super fan engagement and the music and you can play the music and all that. They're doing that now with profiles. I just think it's a little late. And I just think that unless you're like a boomer, I don't really think that you think of connecting with your artist or your favorite artist on Facebook. I don't have Facebook. I think Facebook is a complete waste of time and it's a wasteland to try to market or any of that stuff. Twitch and Discord, I don't really know why as an artist you are on Twitch or Discord if you have a few hundred loyal people. Unless you're live streaming, but you could do that on YouTube or you could do that on Instagram. Threads, yeah, Threads is... I'm going to humble myself. I need to do better on Threads. Blue Sky. I like how you're on Blue Sky, which is liberal. And then you're on X and True Social, which are conservative. So, I mean, Here's the thing I got to give you. If you are on Truth Social and Blue Sky and Pinterest, you really are tapping into kind of untouched markets for an artist. Now, the problem is not for Pinterest. I think Pinterest might actually be a brilliant idea. I might see you on Pinterest. I might be posting on Pinterest. The problem is, I would get rid of Twitch and Discord. You don't need it. Now with a couple of 100 followers, and I don't know, you don't tell us, I don't think you tell us what kind of content you post. The problem with being on Blue Sky and Truth Social, X, I think is a wasteland. I think the podcast audio stuff goes on X, but I think that's automated. There's no lights are on and nobody's home on my X account. Mainly because I just don't like the content that I get greeted with when I log on to X. It's very spammy. It's very AI. It's just none of my friends are on X anymore. But the problem with you being on Blue Sky and Truth is, let's say you pop off on Truth and you're not even a Republican, but you just go there because there's a fan base there. I don't know if Truth Social is the best place for an indie pop alternative artist. It doesn't really, MAGA people don't really strike me as like the indie rock crowd. I could be wrong. They just don't strike me as that. But the problem is that let's say you blow up on Truth Social. Now you're branded as like a right-wing artist, which is okay if you are a right-wing artist. But then your efforts on Blue Sky are just a waste of time. Same thing happens if you blow up on Blue Sky. You're going to probably get destroyed on Truth Social because you're branded as a liberal artist. So I personally would get rid of Truth and Blue Sky because I just feel like you're going to get branded one way or another. Spotify clips. Yeah. I mean, if you're releasing new music, you got to have a clip up there. So that's what I would do. You have a lot going on. I freaking love the Pinterest idea. I really do. Long form. Here's the thing. I don't know what you're posting on YouTube for long form content, but I'd get rid of Facebook as well. So I would narrow it down to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest, Threads, and Spotify clips. I would get rid of X, True Social, Blue Sky, and Twitch, Discord. Yeah, I would cut half of those out. Yeah. He says, I'm not lazy. I'm overwhelmed. Well, yeah, because you just listed like 15 social media accounts and you might be getting minimal traction on all of them, which does make it hard to stay motivated. He says, I spend more time trying to figure out what to post and where to post it than making music. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to, in one post appease the MAGA crowd, and then the next post you're trying to appease on Blue Sky, the anti-MAGA crowd, then you're trying to like Discord and Twitch it up, and then you got to do something. That's a lot of work, man. That is a lot of work. And I would focus on the 3-4 and just rock out there. He says, I spend more time trying to figure out what to post and where to post than making music. Well, right. You're sacrificing your art to be an influencer and a content creator. I suck at social media. Like, I absolutely suck at it. I just do. Like, I don't spend a lot of time. I edit videos. Like, I'll make reels and I'll edit those because I'll just compile a bunch of stuff. But that's really because I just make I'll take a video of something that's 12 seconds long and I'm like, well, that's not long enough to post. So I just compile it and then I move it around. I do enjoy that. Sometimes it does. I mean, I did one video from Vegas that had 22,000 views on it, like in a weekend. Then I posted another one from Vegas and it had like 300 views. So, but I suck at social media. I really do. I need to get better at it. He goes, I spend more time trying to figure out what to post and where to post than making music. And then I end up posting nothing because I'm exhausted before I even start. Well, when you're mapping out your daily content schedule and you got to do 15 different things to send the same message, yes, that would be very exhausting. You're spreading yourself out way too thin here, and it is getting in the way of your music. He says, it makes me feel like I'm failing at something that shouldn't even be the main part of the job. Well, you building a brand, you getting people excited and aware of your music is your job. I just don't know if it's on Twitch and Discord and True Social and X and long form YouTube and Blue Sky. And yeah, that's where your problem is. He goes, so my questions that are keeping me up at night, do I actually need to be everywhere to grow? Absolutely not. Or is that just something people say? I think it's something people say when they have a team who's doing it. I think it's guys on YouTube who want to sell you a package and they spend zero time on their content because they have a gang of team members who do it. I think you need to focus on the ones that are there. Let's be real here. As an artist, probably not a lot of people on Blue Sky. Probably not a lot of people on True Social. I don't know who's on X anymore besides models who want to sell you a monthly service and political people and robots. So I'd get rid of that. If you're getting traction on Pinterest, if you are getting traction on Pinterest, I'd continue doing Pinterest because I think it's an untapped market. And it's not political, you know. True Social and Blue Sky are very political. And you don't want to get branded because then you're going to make the other side hate you. And as an artist, your job is to let everybody discover and fall in love with your music, not just one half of the country or the other. He says, if I can only pick one or two platforms, how do I choose? Well, I don't think you do one or two. I think you do Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And then when you put a new song out, throw it up on Spotify clips. Once again, if Pinterest is getting you traction, do Pinterest. He says, is consistency really more important than quality? Yes, absolutely. The algorithm wants to know you're consistent. We're actually seeing now with these newsletters, which by the way, thank you to everybody who's been watching. The watch time is crazy. The views are up. When we first started doing this a few weeks ago, plays weren't great. But the more that we're consistent, the algorithm learns us. The algorithm is now putting us out to more people. So what actually happens is now we don't have to pay for advertising to submit your question in or blast it out to the people on the email list because people are now watching the emails and they're sending in questions. And that only happens because of consistently posting. Now, I need to get better at consistently posting on TikTok and Instagram, but we're all on a journey together, aren't we? He says, how do artists avoid burning out from being content creators instead of musicians? Well, they're not on 17 different things. And also, I wonder if you did say that you're creating something, you got to create all this different stuff, right? So are you making separate videos for Instagram versus TikTok? And yeah, don't do that. That's a waste of time. Make one video, put it out there because you're going to hopefully be hitting different algorithms and different people because you have people who are loyal on YouTube Shorts. You have people who are loyal to Instagram. You have people who are loyal to TikTok. They might not find you because of the algorithm on Instagram, but they will find you on TikTok or they will find you on YouTube Shorts. He says, is it possible to build a career if I just can't keep up with the algorithm stuff? Anything's possible. It just becomes a lot more difficult. But you're spending your time on Twitch and Discord. Like, that's just dumb. Just stop that. He says, sometimes I feel like the pressure to be online is sucking the joy out of making music. Well, when you're stretched that thin, yes, it would be. It absolutely would be. I don't post consistently because I don't think about it. Like, I just like, it's one of those, like, when you take the dog out in the morning, you're like, crap, I forgot to post for the last 4 days. And then I'll post, You'll notice if you go to my Matthew Ricks, like my main Instagram account, I'll post and then I'll disappear for a couple of days and then I'll post again, which don't do that. I'm telling you right now, don't do that. It sucks. All right. And I need to get better. He says, I guess I just need an honest answer from someone who actually seen how this works in real life, not just from a social media guru selling a course. Well, there you go. Don't buy any of the courses. It's like if you get on YouTube, people want to show you how to drop ship, your Amazon business. And then they don't tell you that your Amazon drop shipping business will get shut down because Amazon doesn't allow drop shipping. The guys who are selling you programs, the gurus, if they do have an awesome social media plan and they just don't pay for advertising, they usually have people who are helping them. It's just the way it goes. I have a very great team when it comes to posting these newsletters for reaching out to artists, for interviews. And the guys who are selling you packages, they're probably making more money from counting you out of the $200 for the package than they actually are when it comes to the money they're making from social media. So what you need to do is, you want an honest answer of what to do. You got to cut back on posting everywhere. I don't know why you'd be on Twitch or Discord anyways with a few hundred followers. I don't know why you would be so invested in Truth and Blue Sky, because that's political stuff. Like, I think social media, like, platforms die when they get into politics, because then it's just like somebody's like, this person sucks. And then it's a bunch of people agreeing and it's a bunch of people arguing. And then you as an artist are trying to like sort through all that noise and clutter to try to be like, I got music, listen to my music. And it just gets bogged down with everything. So what I would tell you to do is, one, don't buy into the social media gurus. They're selling you a course. They make all their money from selling you a course. And if they do post, they have a gang of team members who do it, interns or friends or whatever, employees. What you need to do is focus on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest, if it's working, if you're getting traction, if you get people who are like, I'm listening to your music from Pinterest. Spotify clips when you're releasing a new song, focus on those. Create, if you create a great video, 60, 70 second video, you put it out on everything. You don't keep creating different content for different social media platforms. You will burn yourself out so quickly. He says, thanks for reading, Bob. You're welcome, Bob. That's what I would do for you. Let me know if you're getting traction on Pinterest, please. Because like I said, you might see me on there. But very good email. Cut down on all the noise and all the busy work you're doing, being on every social media platform. I mean, look, right now, there's probably one in Japan you haven't even thought of. You need to, at this rate, go get them all, because this is a full-time job right here. And I understand your pain, and I understand you feel like you're running yourself into the ground, because I absolutely would be if I was you, posting on everything that's available. But good email. Cut it down. Let me know how it goes. If you have a question on the music industry that you'd like for me to answer, just go to MatthewRicks.com, click submit your question. And until next time, I will talk to you later.